Hi VC, this is Bev here, Clarko Vision. This is my second part of my recent CD haul video that I put up a few days ago. I had put part one on it of a CD haul, and I think I showed a couple of records in that as well. I'm just going to keep this, well, I'm not actually. I'm going to keep it all CDs, but I've got a cassette as well. So I can just need to watch the angle of my get this stuff out of the way so that things are. Anyway, just I've got one cassette. It just came in today, so I'll just put that in here as well, and the rest will be. The most of the rest of the CDs that I'm waiting on coming in, I am still waiting on a couple from about a week ago. For some reason, I don't know what it is now, but this batch, everybody seems to be delaying or slower in sending stuff out. But I'm not perturbed, to be honest. Quite happy to wait impatiently because I like to get all my music, but we'll just get on with what I've got. So I've got most of it. There's just one or two still to come in, which I can show later. And the first one I decided I would grab. Actually, I'll do the cassette first. This was super cheap, and it was described as being in wonderful condition. So I thought, right, that'll do for a collection filler. This is Adrenalize on cassette. Now this is my second ever pressing of Adrenalize that I've ever owned. I've only ever had the initial CD when it came out on the day of release. I bought it pretty much immediately. And that was the only, I was never really wanting to pursue any other versions of it. But then I thought, it would just be handy to have the cassette, and I probably will look out for retroactive just to complete the cassette. That'll be it for me. So yeah, this was £1.20. The case is perfect, apart from a couple of light handling scuffs. The tape itself, it's the clear one. You can see it's been used. I think it's been placed in a car. The slide-in ones, because there's a couple of scuff marks on it here, but it's probably just been shoved in and ejected, and the inner sleeve thing is really immaculate, to be honest with you. Which opens out track listing, band members. Obviously this album came out the year after Steve died, so they do have a bit about him here, and it's ironically, it says music is what he'll be remembered for, and they've pretty much remembered him for anything but music since he died, which is a bit of a thorn in my side, actually. But, and yeah, all this blurb about what was going on and stuff like that. But yes, like I say, me and Def Leppard, I view them in a different light to what I used to, that's for sure. So, but anyway, I'm delighted to get that to put in the collection. So, first of the CDs, Pyromania by Def Leppard. This is an original issue. Now, I don't know when the first CD issues of Pyromania came out. I mean, the album came out in '83. This is dated '83, obviously, but I don't know if this came out in '85 or '86, because obviously CDs were just beginning to be processed around this time. But Again, I got this off eBay, and the seller described it as nearly new, and they weren't kidding. Apart from this, the case having a few scuffs, which you'd expect, there is not a chip or a scrape or anything broken off it. It's the original case, it's the original CD, digitally mastered, not remastered, and it's West Germany, which I always kind of think, you see the West Germany, I think it's kind of a, you can tell it's a point in history when, you know, just a historical thing about Eastern Western Germany. And the booklet, honestly, you'd think it was just pressed yesterday. The corners are as sharp as I've ever seen. It's brand new, like it was just 1983. So now I picked this one up because Pyromania has been the album out of the big four that I've had the least pressings of over the course of time. And the only CD version the first CD version I ever got was a Japanese pressing some years back. But, you know, in recent times, I think in this century even maybe, certainly not the 80s, and it was a Digipack special edition. And then when the deluxe version came out, I've got that. But I've never had an original of Pyromania, so now I do. Tracks, lyrics, band, and again, and you get all this info about the compact disc, which obviously was a thing at the time. So I was absolutely delighted with the condition of this, and it's just nice to have an original of Pyromania. Next up, now the interesting thing about this is, on the very day that I saw Brendan Van D show an album from this band in one of his videos, was the very same day I had just sampled them on YouTube and thought, I like this band. So as a result, I have ordered 2 of their albums. This is the most recent release, which is 2017 on AFM Records, and it's Elven King. Album is Secrets of the Magic Grimoire or Grimoire, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Elven King are from Italy. They've been around since about 1997, I think, initially, and they're described as a kind of a folk metal, power metal kind of band, and there's definitely some elements of folk about it, which very melodic. They've got the violin in places, and I really quite liked what I was hearing. So this was, it was the other one that was on a discount, but this one was priced not bad as well on the website of AFM Records. The second one I've got was reduced, so I grabbed 2 of them. So this is a digi pack. Opens like that. You have the CD, you have the booklet, and you've got kind of like lyrics to a couple of tracks here, but you've got the lyrics to all the tracks in the booklets. You have on the back a bunch of credits. So yeah, they are an Italian band. I don't know a lot about them, except they have been around since 97, and what I just said about their kind of their style, their sounds. So kind of you know, they have kind of like a sort of fantasy type lyrics, I think. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but this is good stuff. I really enjoy this. So again, if you're interested in something just a slight bit different but still kind of good power metal with lots of melodic stuff in it, then give them guys a try. So the other one from Elven King, which was the one that was reduced, this is one of their earlier albums. This one is, in fact, I think this is the one that Brendan Van D actually showed on the vinyl. It's Red Silent Tides. Now this came out in 2010, and obviously this is a limited edition CD which includes The bonus disc, I think, is their original demo album that they released when they first started out, I think. So in this one, you have the 2 discs, and the kind of the CDs are kind of almost very metallic finish to them, kind of a coppery and a bronzy maybe colour. And the booklet in here is slides out the inner cover. And again, this was produced and mixed by Dennis Ward. I should have heard that name, but I'm not, I couldn't tell you offhand who he's been involved with. So there we have it. The band members, the usual, nicely laid out. Right, so that is these 2. Next one I purchased. This is on Napalm Records, this one. It's another band that's new to me. Majesty are who they call themselves, and this is their latest release from this year, 2019, and it's called Legends. The album cover, it's kind of like in a post-apocalyptic image there. This guy standing on top of a burning car with a hoodie and his flying V guitar aloft. Legends, let me just check. Majesty rather, that's the name of the band, are described as a heavy metal band from Germany, and they've been around since, I don't know, when did they start up? Something in round about the year 2000 maybe, roughly. Doesn't say right away here, but yeah. Hang on, years active. The year 2000 is kind of when they started. And they describe themselves as a true metal, as in the traditional heavy metal. That's what they describe themselves as. But to me, they're not traditional heavy metal, as in the new wave of British heavy metal or Black Sabbath or anything. They're not that at all. I would say they're more like the new wave of traditional heavy metal, newer, modern, and more power metal. A lot of their stuff is very high energy, fast tempo. A lot of the kind of the double bass drums. Oh, I thought that was going to go flying there. And I think the theme of this whole album is about an apocalyptic world and a new dawn and a new generation rising up out of the shambles that's been left behind here. Some of the songs you might think of Manowar in terms of how they sound, or some of the lyrics, possibly, just a little bit, I mean, I don't know Manowar too well, I haven't heard a lot from them, but that's one band that kind of came to mind. But I think they're also a little bit similar to Beast in Black. They're more closer to that type of band as well. So, but yeah, quite interesting. Again, a bit different, and it's another digipack. The booklet just sits in here. More of the lyrics and band pictures. And I say, I don't really know a lot about these guys either, so another one I thought would be good to check out. Traditional heavy metal, I would probably use this band to describe traditional heavy metal a bit more. I picked up Blitzkrieg, and this is a reissue of A Time of Changes. This was the first of Blitzkrieg I've ever owned. And I was reading up on them on Wikipedia actually, and they kind of started out in 1980, they sort of formed, and they signed to Neat Records. But they didn't actually get around to releasing their first album, which is this one, until 1985, which I thought was kind of odd, but I think they had breakups and stuff. I don't know. I think looking through the personnel, they've got a list as long as, you know, they've had so many different people in their band apparently. So, but the band at the time of this album in '85, or perhaps when it was written, because it was originally scheduled to come out in '81, which would have been more like it, I guess. And it does kind of sound more like an album from '81, perhaps. Brian Ross, Mike Proctor, Jim Serotto, Mick Moore and Sean Taylor. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I wasn't too familiar with Blitzkrieg either, but I was doing some sampling of them. The only thing that's kind of a little disappointing is their digipack is very basic. This has been issued on Dissonance Productions, a subdivision of Sanctuary Records, I believe, who are a BMG company, and you've got the cover, and then you've got lyrics here, and then lyrics and more lyrics, and that is it. It's just lyrics. There is no info about credits or who produced it, where it was recorded, anything. There's nothing like that. It's just purely the lyrics. So it's quite basic. And that's like the back of the album. But yeah, it's quite good to have a copy of that. So the next one I got, this was kind of a quick buy, if you like. Now, one day on Facebook, along came a post from Rob at Black Star Vinyl, and he was saying how much he liked the sound of this band, and so I checked out the video that they put in the link. And then when I was on YouTube later, catching up on some videos, I watched one by Bad English Rex, and Mr. Finglish was talking about the very same band, and he recommended them as well, and it is A Fire. And this album is quite recent. This is their debut, and it's On the Road from Nowhere, and they are a female-fronted band, and they're just really, they're from Finland, so they're from Mr. Finglish's country, and they are female-fronted. She has a really nice voice, and they're very kind of like traditional melodic hard rock, very nice to listen to, really good songs. So I do recommend you check out A Fire as well. So I went and grabbed the CD. I found it on a seller through eBay, I think, and here it is. Excellent stuff. Then I also picked up another album from Canadian band Striker. I have on vinyl their, I think it's their latest Play to Win. Fantastic, absolutely adore that album. So I thought, I'll need to check out more, so I went and got this one. Couldn't find the vinyl, or if I did find it, it was too expensive, but it was one of them, so I thought I'll settle for the CD just now. So I think this was the previous one to Play to Win. I'm not certain, but this came out in 2016, and it's just self-titled Striker, and it's on Record Breaking Records. And yeah, there's 10 tracks on here, and it's a good album. I do prefer Play to Win, but this is pretty decent as well. It was really quite enjoyable. So I'll skip showing all the booklets because, you know, I'm talking away here as usual. This was a brilliant one I landed off of eBay. The seller put this up and he described it as near mint, and it more or less is, except the DVD has a few scratches because it comes with a bonus DVD. But I was really happy to get hold of this. Pretty Maids, It Comes Alive. made in Switzerland. So this is a live concert from somewhere in Switzerland, and it's 2012 is when this was issued. So it's a double CD and bonus DVD of the gig, and it is in really excellent condition. So this one is Frontiers, these guys are on, and there you have the 3 discs. Quite like how it's like a skeleton's hand is being held up, numbering each of the discs as well, of course. So yeah, and the booklet. And the booklet is spotless as well, so really chuffed to get a hold of that. So Danish band in Switzerland. I think the artwork's pretty cool as well. There is the band. So yeah, excellent stuff. Good live shots of the band. So thrilled to bits to get that, because to buy this new is either quite hard to do or quite expensive. And the last two, because I saw this was reduced as well on a website, I thought I would just buy it to have this along with I have them on vinyl, and I really like them. So I went to get, this is Avantasia and Ghost Lights. This is part 2 of the trilogy, the one before Moonglow, and it's in one of these media book styles. And this has a bonus CD, CD 2, and it has some live, Avantasia live. So you've got 11 tracks here, which is great because I haven't really heard anything from these guys on a live setting. And again, you've got a list of everybody involved with this project, and you've got the first disc in a sleeve at the front here. Then you've got the booklet with loads of information about the whole idea behind the project. You've got the track, you've got the lyrics for each of the tracks, and it tells you who's all playing what character, and a few live images at the back, tour dates, and the bonus disc is in a wee sleeve in the back here. So, and that was just a merch thing from Nuclear Blast. So I thought, right, I want to get the other 2 as well in the book, the media book format. So I've so far managed to grab Moonglow because this is the latest, but to find the first part, which is Tales, I can't even remember what it's called, Tales from the first part of this trilogy anyway, it's a bit difficult to find, so I am still to hunt that one down. And that also is the media book version I'm looking for. But Moonglow doesn't have a bonus disc, it's just the standard 1 disc, same as the vinyl version, although the vinyl's on 2 discs. But you don't get any extras with this one. So that's my latest haul. Load of CDs there, lots of interesting stuff, lots of new bands to me again, and the 2 Def Leppard. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you all later on. Bye just now.